Hey there YouTube, what's up? Ascent here, and so I'm just here today just to quickly do a video. I just wanted to talk about this. So I just found out that Corona, who make a renderer, I guess that's what you call it, rendering, yeah, I guess, yeah, renderer. They have actually just temporarily are allowing Cinema 4D users for the alpha to be able to download it and use it for free. Um, it's free to use until the commercial version is released. So, I mean, it's temporary, but if you want to test out a faster, or at least maybe even just try out a different CPU based renderer inside of Cinema 4D, then I guess now would be the time to check it out. It's got some kind of cool aspects to it that I've just been messing around with a little bit here. So this is the scene that I have. I did a couple of renders with this a while ago, and I decided to change the color scheme up using my HDRI pack just to see what I could do with it. And so this is what I got from the, or sorry, this is what I got from the standard renderer. This is like, it's a pretty decent scene. This is kind of the look that I was going for anyway, so that's, yeah, it's pretty good. This is what Corona will look like when you start rendering, and that is because actually Corona is a progressive renderer. So let's just go into the render settings, take a look at this. So Corona, when you first start out, you won't have this. I have time limit set to 19 seconds, and I'll explain why in a second. Corona is actually, yeah, it's a what's the word? Literally just said it. Progressive rendering system, which means that if you've ever used the physical renderer with the progressive mode, then you'll know what I'm talking about. It essentially just keeps doing more and more render passes and improving the quality of whatever you're working on, and so it'll just keep on ticking away. And while you're doing it, this is actually a third pass render. So this is after doing 3 passes. This is what it came out with, and so you're probably gonna say, you know, like this looks awful. It's really noisy, and the reason for that is actually there is a mode in here that is the denoising, and it happens actually after it's done rendering. So you have to actually set a limit. You can't just leave it to render for whatever. You have to set a limit. So like here, instead of talking about it, let me just show you actually. So set this back to the default values. Let's set this pass limit to 4, for example. That should take about 40 seconds or so. And you see I have the denoise radius set to 2 instead of 1. And that's because I kind of want to show you a cool effect that I found actually happens with this renderer. So let's render the picture viewer really quickly. And so you'll see it says starting renderer, and then these are the passes. So this is pass number 1, is just the general. Now it's on pass 2. And it's going to look a little bit different because I turned glow on. So, yeah, I guess we'll see how that works. So far, it's been perfectly, acting perfectly with all of the Cinema 4D native stuff. So all of the glow and all that sort of stuff, it's been reacting pretty perfectly. Yeah, let's just wait for this to denoise now. There we go. So yeah, so there it goes. And so what you'll notice is, based from the standard renderer, you'll see that there's a lot of this sort of stuff in here, all these little polygons, and that's actually on the model itself. That's the style that I intended to do. But it does this cool thing actually with the denoising, where it will actually smooth these out. So that's why I have the denoise radius set pretty high. But as you'll see here, it kind of depends on what sort of style you're going for, but I think this is a really gorgeous render here. It especially also smooths out these areas here, because this is just a flat plane. Essentially, you can see it a lot better actually on this one. You can see it's just a flat plane on top of it. The denoising will actually kind of seam it into one another, but the one problem that I've noticed is that back here, you'll see as I step down the denoising radius, you'll see a lot more details start to pop in, and that's because the denoising does also kind of remove some of these cracks. So if you're using this with any Veroni, it may cause some issues, but yeah, I figured this was it was worth its own little small video just to outline this renderer. As far as speed goes, again, you have to kind of set it up yourself. I set the render time to 19 seconds, and it took about 35 seconds to fully initialize the actual renderer, start the render, do the render, and then denoise itself. I don't know what that difference would be if you decide not to use the denoising, but yeah, so as far as the results go, I mean, it's quite frankly, it's just a different renderer. This renderer is actually designed for architectural visualization, so if you're doing any of that sort of work, I would definitely recommend checking it out. But I thought this was just kind of cool, just to show you kind of an interesting feature of like the false Phong shading almost that you get by using this with the denoising mode activated. So yeah, hopefully this was kind of interesting, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you want to see, if you guys want the HDRI that was used to light this scene, I've released an HDRI pack for free. You can check out a video that's on my channel to go and download that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Happy rendering.